So I'll be handling machine drawing subject for you, that is of code 15 ME 53T. Okay, so it is of almost problematic. So it is 80 marks, 80 to 85 marks problems, and 15 marks theory. Okay, 15 to 20 marks theory. So we'll just briefly discuss what all things are there here. Okay, in this subject, what all chapters you are having and what is the marks weightage. Then we'll go through the first chapter of this subject. Okay, that is, you are having, mainly you are having the subjects, the chapters: introduction to design. So what is design and types of design, what all considerations are there in design, all that your basic things, that is introduction you are studying. Then you are studying about, it is of around 5 marks theory. Okay, it is fully of 5 marks theory. Okay, then what we are discussing in second chapter is design of fasteners. So what do you mean by fasteners is, so design of nuts and bolts. Okay, those are called fasteners, that all you are studying. So how the nut and bolts are designed. Okay, so what all you are considering there, all that things we are studying, that is about fasteners. Then we are studying in, okay, it is of around 20 marks. Okay, this is consisting of 5 marks, this is consisting of 20 marks. Okay, problem. So okay, 15 plus 5 marks theory is there, so it is of around 20 marks total weightage of the marks. Okay, then in third chapter you are studying design of shaft and keys. So what do you mean by shaft and why the key you are using, what is the use of key you are using, and how you are mounting a pulley on a shaft with the help of key. So then design of shaft, so what all the problems are there in shaft, those things you are studying in design of shaft. This is also having 20 marks, which consist of 15 marks theory and 5 marks problem. Okay, then you are in next part you are studying, that is fourth chapter, you are studying design of simple machine parts. That is, in this you are studying knuckle joint, quarter joint, knuckle joint, all those things. So flange coupling you are studying. So these three things you are studying. See, around these three, any two will come for your exam. Okay, any two. It may be knuckle joint or quarter joint, or it may be coupling or knuckle joint. So total three are there. Flange coupling. Okay, couplings are there. Quarter joint is there, and knuckle joint is there. So among these three, so one will be asked, two will be asked, and you have to write one which consists of 25 marks problem, only problem. Okay, of 25 marks. Total weightage of the problem is 25 marks. Okay, any one you need to solve. Two will come and any one you need to solve. So which consists of 25 marks problem. Okay, so then you are having next is design of springs. Okay, design of springs, that is springs whatever you are using, that is you might have seen in trucks and all, you are using a spring there. Okay, for the suspension system. Okay, to avoid the vibration you are using spring. So such spring you are studying, what is spring and types of spring, that is whatever in truck chases you might have seen. So that is the spring you might have seen, which is like this. Okay, so which is somewhat like this is called leaf spring. Okay, leaf spring, and in your daily life you might have seen like this. So this type of spring, that is helical spring. Okay, those are the different types of spring you are studying, and that is about 5 marks theory and 15 marks. So 15 marks problem, so it consists of around total 20 marks. Okay, in it, so which consists of 15 marks one problem and 5 marks theory. So then you are studying in next last chapter, you are studying the design considerations, that is ergonomics and aesthetic consideration in design. While designing, what all the considerations, okay, that you are looking. Okay, so those are called ergonomics and aesthetic consideration in design. So which is theoretical and it consists of 10 marks theory. So briefly, so we have gone through what is the syllabus. That is, first is introduction to design. So that you are studying what is machine design, what is machine design, and different types of design. Then what all the design consideration like stress, strain, load, and stress strain diagram for mild steel. All those things you are studying in introduction to design, which consists of 5 marks. Okay, then second you are studying design of fasteners, that is design of nut and bolts you are studying, so which consists of 20 marks, which is 15 marks theory and 10 marks problem. Then so third chapter, that is design of shafts. Here 20 marks it is total. So you are studying what is shaft, what is key, different types of key. So then 5 marks theory and 15 marks problem you are getting there. So then you are studying next is which is having more weightage, that is 25 marks. Okay, and that is problem. Here three types are there: coupling, okay, quarter joint, and knuckle joint. So that you have studied this already in okay, machine drawing. You have drawn this, what is cover, what is knuckle joint, what is quarter joint. So those we are designing, so it is very easy, and you are having 25 marks weightage. See, you can directly score here 25 out of 25 here by solving a problem. If you just understand that whole procedure, how to take the formulas and just substitution, you can easily solve these problems and you can score 25 here. Okay, then you are studying design of spring, that is what is spring, different types of spring, and design of spring. Here also particular procedure is there that you have to follow. And last chapter is ergonomics and aesthetic considerations in design, which consist of 10 marks, which is fully theoretical. Here if you take overall subject, okay, it is of around 80 marks. Okay, 80 marks it is problem, and around 20 marks it is theory. Okay, so you need to solve many problems here. So we'll be taking those problems. Okay, so we'll be solving. See, for solving the problems, see, in this subject, whole subject machine design, see, if you just take all other subjects, you need to remember the formula and then you need to solve the problems. Here it is not like that. So here you are having a data handbook. Okay, so okay, you are having a data handbook. So data handbook will be provided. Data, okay, data handbook, data handbook. Data handbook will be provided where you are having all the formulas. So whole formulas, all the types of formulas, that is if you are taking fasteners, nut and bolt formulas, shaft key formulas, and simple machine part, that is knuckle joint, quarter joint, or those formulas, then spring formulas, and all the types of formulas are already there. They are there in the book. Okay, that is design data handbook. So you are having already all the formulas, but what you have to do is, see, there are plenty of formulas. Okay, if you are taking a shaft, there are around 50 formulas. If you are taking a keys, there are around 50 formulas. If you are taking a springs, there are around, okay, 50 to 100 formulas in that book. See, what you have to do is you have to select the formulas which are required for us. Okay, so for our syllabus, what all the formulas are there, that you have to select there and then you have to solve. So that is the thing you need to follow here. So if you are, okay, if you are learning those formulas, if you are attending the classes, and if you are noting those, and if you are solving the problem, then only you will understand how to take those formulas and how to solve the problem. Otherwise it becomes, you might be, you are having that book in your examination, but you will not get how to use that data handbook. So here, so the main thing in this subject is you need to you need to, okay, refer that data handbook. So you should be able to understand that concept, and you need to use that particular formula. There are around 50 formulas, but we are using only 2 to 3 formulas in your okay, whatever chapter. Okay, if you are taking a shaft, you are using only 3 formulas. If you are using a spring, you are using around only 3 formulas, but you should know that which 3 formulas you are using. So in this design data handbook, so all the formulas are your, so those formulas you need to refer and you need to select the formulas and then you need to solve the problems. Okay, so you might have understood whatever the whole design, that is machine design. Okay, so it is of 80 marks and 20 marks problem. So more practice is needed here, and the main basic things you need to understand, like basic, you should know what is stress, what is strain. So in this whole chapter, so now whole chapter what all we are studying is, so we'll be briefly starting with the first chapter, that is introduction to design. So what do you mean by design? So we'll be just studying here what is machine design, what is the definition of machine design, and different types of classification of machine design, that is adaptive design, development, and new design. Those things we are studying. Adaptive design means what, development design. Then we are studying what is new design, rational design, empirical. These are the different classification of machine design. So then see basic things. See, whenever you are studying particular, okay, particular subject, you should have a prerequisite, okay, whatever the things you should know. Okay, previously studying those subject, you should know few things. So that is general consideration you need to know. That is what you mean by load. If you are taking a component, if you are taking a component, okay, if suppose this is a component, if the force is acting on this component, see this force, whatever the force acting on the body is called nothing but load. Then you should know what is stress. Okay, it is the load upon area, whatever the force or load divided by whatever this area is there. So this, suppose this area is there, so that is called stress. Then you should know what is strain. It is change in length. Whenever you are applying a force, this will be elongated like this. See this, whatever the change in length to the original length is called as strain. So stress, strain, okay, then load. Then you should know what is tensile load, what is compressive load, then what is shear stress. All those things prerequisite you should know. Okay, so you just briefly, you just see any of your SOM textbooks, strength of material, and just try to remember all that whatever you have studied already. What you mean by load, stress, strain. Okay, tensile load means what, tensile stress means what, then compressive stress means what is shear stress, what is volumetric strain, what is Poisson's ratio. All those things, basic things you should know here. So before studying this whole subject, okay, then you should know, already you have studied what is stress strain diagram for mild steel. If you are taking a mild steel, and if you are loading it in a UTM, so UTM you might have studied this in, okay, so universal testing machine, that is there in MT lab or MTQC lab, you have studied this. And if you are loading that component, and if you are go on applying a stress, okay, and if you are noting a strain, okay, and if you are drawing that in X and Y axis, in this X axis, if I am taking stress, okay, if I am taking a stress and strain, in Y axis if you are taking, so whatever you are getting the diagram, so this diagram you will be getting. So this diagram is called as stress strain diagram. Here you are having different points, and that is A is a proportional limit, that is up to A, it is proportional to each other, that is proportional limit, elastic limit, yield limit. Then this is called ultimate point, and the last point is ultimate point. Then wherever it breaks into pieces is called a fracture point. So those all things you are studying here. This is about stress strain diagram for mild steel. So here briefly what we are studying in first chapter is we are studying the prerequisites, that is what all is required before studying this chapter. What is the required for you to understand this, to understand the whole subject, what all is required. So that is called as, that is first in first chapter you are studying, that is introduction to machine design. So here we are studying all these things, that is proportional limit means what, elastic limits, then Hooke's law, so then yield point you are studying, ultimate limit you are studying, then fracture point you are studying. So whole thing in this chapter we are studying all these things. Okay, so in the first chapter you are studying all this, and any one of the question will be asked in your exam for okay, for 5 marks. This whole unit is having 5 marks, so it will be completed in 2 or 3 chapters. Okay, 2 or 3 lectures. So I'll be completing the first chapter, which is theoretical, which is fully theoretical. And then coming to the subject, that is the data handbook. So data handbook, that is data handbook. So which data handbook we are using? See, we are using, so you just note down this, the author K. Mahadevan and Balveer Reddy. Okay, Balveer Reddy. So we are using this data handbook, okay, in your subject. So we are using this K Mahadevan and Balveer Reddy. So you can just take this Xerox, you can just take, or whole data handbook only you can take. So it is already available in few of the Xerox center. So you can just go there and just ask K Mahadevan and Balveer Reddy. So it is of around 300 to 400 pages. Okay, so you just buy this, or you can just take that Xerox of that. So it is very important, from first class itself you should have this data handbook. So if you are, so you say whenever we are solving, if you refer this data handbook, then only it will be useful for you. If you are not referring, and if you are directly attending the exam, then it becomes very hectic to understand the concepts, and so you will not be able to use this data handbook in your examination. So if you are not using this data handbook, then so using those formulas becomes very tough. So my okay, whatever the note I am giving you is to use this data handbook from the first day of your class. So you just go and just okay, ask for this okay, you just note down this and just ask for this data handbook in any of the Xerox center or books, or you can refer in our college library itself. So they are having plenty of these books, that is K Mahadevan and Balveer Reddy. So you just refer those and just go on using, just use your ID cards and just take from the library and start using from the first day of your okay lecture. And this whatever the okay subject machine design, see whatever, if you are using the data handbook, and if you are regularly attending the classes, and if you are practicing okay correctly, then it is very easy to okay clear this okay subject, and you can score better also. Okay, if you are not okay attending the classes, and if you are not properly referring this data handbook, it is very hectic to pass. See, if you are not clearing this exam for the first attempt, it is very hard to clear it in a second or third attempt. So because so it requires a lot of practice. So you just attend the classes regularly, and just go on clearing your doubts, and go on referring this data handbook. And then if you are okay, then if you are studying like this, it becomes very easy to pass this exam. So in this part of an video lecture, so what all we have covered is, so we have covered okay, So the basic whatever the subject we have covered. So automotive machine design and different chapters involved in this we have studied, and then we have taken what all the marks weightage are there. So which all in it consist of how many marks. So you just note down in your book, and according to that you can plan, and you can refer any 4 chapters or 4 to 5 and study well, and you can easily score better. So then what all we have studied is, we have studied what is the introduction. Just briefly I have discussed what is design and what is the introduction to design. Design means what and types. So we have discussed, but we have not gone through this whole chapter. So by next class we will be taking this introduction to design. That is, we will correctly study this chapter. From tomorrow we'll start with our syllabus. Okay, so briefly I have discussed in past class. So what all the syllabus and what is the marks weightage we have discussed. So just note down all these things and just attend the classes regularly. Okay, thank you.